The Saddest Movies Ever, inspired by a true story in South Korea in 2008, tells the story of a drunk man meeting with an 8-year-old girl. That drunk man beats her, takes advantage of her, and forces himself upon her in the construction site's building. As a result, she has severe trauma and doesn't want to meet or talk to any man, including her father. The worst things are her anus, small intestine, and large intestine are not functioning. Therefore, she needs to use colostomy bags for her whole life. How is her story? Please watch it till the end. At the beginning of the film, we can see a daughter named Sowon, which means hope. She lives like a daughter in general and actively plays with her friends. Her father, Dong-hoon, works in a factory, and her mother, Mi-hee, opens a shop at home. Simple and happy family. That night, Dong-hoon ignores his daughter, who struggles with her math problems. He continues to focus on baseball matches on TV. The next day, her friend Young Suk waits for Sowon to go to school together. However, Sowon still watches her favorite cartoon, Kokomon, and has difficulty tying her hair. She asks for her father's help, but her father is very unreliable. She is muttering because she has very busy parents. She will pin her hair, and her father leaves. Young Suk has also left Sowon because he will be late and it will rain soon. Because of heavy rain, Sowon finally leaves alone using an umbrella. Her mother chases her, offers to take her to school, and promises to tie her hair starting tomorrow. Mi-hee also advises her to walk through a big road, do not go through a small alley. However, Sowon wants to go alone because she knows her mother's busy schedule. On the way, 100 meters from her school, she is intercepted by a drunk man who asks to share her umbrella. Sowon is worried because there is no one around her at that time. She wants to share her umbrella, but the man takes advantage of her and forces himself upon Sowon. Then, he leaves her in a horrible condition in an abandoned building. We can see Sowon's bags and cell phones along with her wounded hands. In the next scene, Dong-hoon is called by the police, reporting that Sowon is in a bad state. She has wounds all over her body and laceration from the anus to the stomach. Mi-hee also comes and regrets letting Sowon go alone to school. Now her large intestine and anus must be removed right away, and she will live with colostomy to put her small intestine outside for the rest of her life. Luckily, the operation is successful, and Sowon could stay alive, but the condition is horrible. Dong-hoon greets his daughter and holds her hand. Do you know why she called 911 at that time? Because she knows her parents are busy working, she doesn't want to disturb them. When she wakes up, Sowon immediately gives information about the bad person, including his pants and clothes. She is afraid she will forget about it later. Dong-hoon also promises to catch the perpetrator, so Sowon can sleep calmly. The perpetrator's fingerprints have been found, but that immoral person cannot be arrested because of the lack of evidence. The fingerprints can come from anyone because it used to be a construction site. They need evidence such as DNA and CCTV footage, or Sowon testifies and points out the perpetrator. However, Mi-hee disagrees because it will trigger the trauma of her little girl. The next day, Mi-hee is convinced by her husband to let Sowon testify. The recording begins with the help of therapists and police. Her parents also watch her outside. By showing some photos, Sowon must choose the picture of the perpetrator. She really remembers the face of the bad guy. Sowon points out to the same person twice, the bad and ugly man. Not long after, the police immediately arrest the perpetrator at his home. Dong-hoon, who gets the news, immediately goes to the police station and wants to see the criminal. But too many journalists want to cover the news. His best friend, Gwang Sik, calls Dong-hoon and tells him that the news about his daughter has been spread on television. He realizes that this is not a good thing. Dong-hoon immediately carries his daughter away from her room. Unfortunately, reporters find them, and Mi-hee holds the reporters. His daughter is confused and sad about what is happening to her. Because of her father, Sowon's colostomy leaks, making everything messy. Dong-hoon tries to help clean it, but it triggers Sowon's trauma to men. The following fact is also revealed after Mi-hee faints. It turns out that Mi-hee is pregnant with a 5-month-old baby. After visiting his wife, Dong-hoon returns to Sowon, but he keeps his distance this time. Sowon also covers her entire body. Dong-hoon can't hold back his sadness because he can't see his daughter. When leaving the room, he looks at the balloon and intends to cover his face with the balloon. However, he still has no courage to meet his daughter. Dong-hoon even looks for ways to talk to his daughter online. Problems come one by one. Now, he has to pay hospital bills. It was expensive. He is hesitant to borrow money from Gwang Sik, but his friend offers a loan of money without hesitation. His friend firmly said, "If you want to borrow money, just say, don't hesitate." Friends who rarely exist in this world. Not only that, friends of Mi-hee and Dong-hoon begin to raise funds to help them. In the next scene, the perpetrator is on trial, but he claims he was drunk and did not remember the incident that day. Dong-hoon and his friend are very frustrated to see the trial. Even Gwang-sik throws his shoes but is dragged out by officers. Wait, does that mean he goes home with only one shoe? Kokomong and his friends come to Sowon's room and dance the following day. Sowon is very happy, and we can see that smile again. It turns out that Mi-hee and her friends are the Kokomong. Dong-hoon also has an idea to borrow the costume. Luckily, there is an old costume that is not used anymore. The person lends it to Dong-hoon. That night, Dong-hoon, with his costume, comes to meet Sowon. However, Sowon doesn't want to talk and only writes on the board. Sowon asks him to go home because his friends must wait for him. Before leaving, they hug for a while. A very meaningful moment for Dong-hoon. Since then, wearing a costume to meet his daughter has become his routine. The next day, Sowon's therapy begins. She and her therapist speak on various topics to get used to communicating. Sowon also says that she wants to go to school but is ashamed of what happened to her. She is afraid that her friend knows about the incident. Even though her friends really miss her, especially Young Suk, her friends put a lot of positive words for Sowon when she is in the hospital. She also hopes that everything that happened to her was just a dream when she slept. The therapist is very touched because it turns out that her daughter also experienced the same thing as Sowon and chose to end her life. Sowon's treatment and therapy go well. Finally, she could go home again. However, she is still afraid of her father. Therefore, her father has to put on cloth, so she can't see her father in the car. When they arrive home, they are surprised by all the paper attached outside the shop, but I believe that releasing all of them will take a lot of time. The next day, Young Suk comes and cries. He feels he made a mistake by not going to school with Sowon that day. From now on, Sowon goes to school with 4 cute bodyguards and Kokomon that always watches her from afar. At lunchtime, Dong-han routinely goes to school to communicate with his teacher and entertain Sowon from a distance. One time, Young Suk is curious about Kokomon that always follows them wherever they go. However, they leave when Kokomon doesn't reply to their questions. When Young Suk is gone, Sowon returns to see the Kokomon. Sowon asks, "Are you my father?" Her father nods in that hot costume. Sowon knows about it and takes him home to meet Mi-hee, who is surprised to see her husband. Sowon is not afraid anymore and wipes her father's sweat. The next day, Dong-hoon receives an invitation from the court for Sowon to testify in court. He is worried because it would make her trauma back. Dong-hoon also meets the criminal, but the conversation does not go well. The perpetrator instead asks about the agreement they could make for this case. He also threatens to do the same thing when he is released from prison, which angers Dong-hoon. While at home, Dong-hoon tells the incident this afternoon to his wife. So, if the trial does not go well, he will take that person's life with his hands. Sowon is listening to their conversation. The following morning, Sowon comes to the trial and testifies again. However, the perpetrator insists on not doing the wrong thing because he was under alcohol. Thus, the trial is closed with a sentence of 12 years in prison. The punishment is not fair. Dong-hoon can no longer stand all this, and the room becomes chaotic. Dong-hoon takes a board and wants to hit the criminal. But Sowon holds his feet and invites him to go home instead. Indeed, the punishment is not fair, but it will be much worse if Dong-hoon is jailed for his action. Sowon lives well, and the film ends with the birth of her cute younger brother. Thank you for watching. What other movies do I need to recap? Like and subscribe will really help me.